Hello everyone, Kenty Tiger here with Bengali Engineering and Play. We are back, as you can see, in No Man's Sky. And what I wanted to do is start out in the log page. So this is where it shows all your missions and that sort of thing. So I've actually got 3 missions going on here. So the Atlas Path, which actually is a new one. I mean, it's not new, but it's new. So you'll see this pretty much in any game you play, even if you're from the dark ages of the game. Um, the Atlas Path. Search for answers. There are strange powers at work. I have been left messages, crumbs that lead me along a trail. Should I seek answers? Should I investigate these anomalies and breaches? Or should I enjoy the galaxy on my own terms and avoid whatever trouble this is surely leading towards? So the objective here is find an anomaly. Search for anomalies on the galaxy map. Path towards an Atlas interface if available. The Atlas interfaces are large space station looking things that you'll find in your travels as you warp through different systems. And it's a great place for race information. You actually get to learn Atlas words, because they do have their own language. The neat thing is in there, and I hate to turn this into a spoiler, but I'm guessing most of you are watching this kind of as a how to play kind of a thing. You can pick up these little tidbits on the deck as you're walking through an Atlas station, and you can collect, I think it's up to 5 words. So it could be for any race, as I remember, although it may be the representative race of the system that you're in. I don't remember specifically, but I think it was up to 5 words. And there's just a scat of stuff on the ground that you'll see it when you get there. And hell, you'll probably see it when I get there. So anyway, the Atlas Path. So find the anomaly, the path towards the Atlas interface. Awakenings has been the core primary mission that you've had the whole time. So as it goes, you find these little tidbits. So locate your benefactor. Oh, sorry, let me start at the top there. Awakenings. Find us. Hear us. The life form who left this trail have taught me all I need in order to move between the stars. I should continue my search. So it's it used to be kind of a combined thing that was heading you towards the Atlas. So now they've got a little more defined story that is somewhat separate, apparently, from the Atlas Path. So the various breadcrumbs that they talk about in the Atlas Path are things like they give you the recipe for antimatter. Which of course you need to be able to create antimatter before you can create a warp cell. Before you can warp any significant distance, you're going to have a warp cell. If you did not end up with a repaired ship at some point, then you would have only had a tiny bit. The hyperdrive can have, I believe it's up to 5 warp cells in it to fully charge. So you can warp potentially 5 times before you need to refuel. So the warp cell, in that case, to fill it from 0 would take 5 warp cells to fill it all the way up. So I think it's a function of distance, which does make sense, and how many it actually uses. So potentially, if you go to the full extreme of your hyperdrive capability, it should burn all 5 of them, I would guess. I don't know if that's actually true or not. I haven't experimented enough with it. But having said that, ultimately you have to be able to create a warp cell. So knowing how to do that, which is part of the breadcrumbs, and they give you the recipes for doing that. And then this last one where this particular objective came up. So I got to this monolith, So let me go ahead and read at the bottom here. Locate your benefactor, which is the objective of this particular mission. The monolith revealed a strange message. The boundaries fall. The walls collapse. Your universe awaits. Find us, traveler. In space, use the galaxy map X to search for clues. Now, I'm having a little trouble with the galaxy map on the keyboard. So discovering what all works in combination with the mouse, in combination with the keyboard and all that sort of thing, I'm having a lot of trouble figuring out how the hell does this thing work. So most of the information I've found online is not very helpful. Getting to the galaxy map, okay, that's really easy, thanks. But manipulating everything, knowing what key combinations actually do what is where I'm having trouble, so it's kind of the hit or miss. Anyway, this monolith gave me a warp cell. So I already had some warp cells because I've played the game before, so I know how to make them. But you know, if you follow along the whole game and you don't actually have the blueprint for how to create those, the recipe for how to create those, then this is part of what you need in your adventuring. But because I am an OCD engineer at heart, just absolutely through and through, I tend to wander around and actually drive the adventuring aspect just absolutely into the ground. My OCD does not let me leave a planet until I have discovered everything there is to discover, including life forms that take me 4.5 hours to find the last one. So anyway, those sorts of things that just go with the territory. Okay, so wanted to show. So this is the secondary mission here. In this case, is broken. So this is part, and it's not the game broken. It's my save that's broken. So my game is broken. So I have hired the base. I've gone to see the overseer 100 times, and this does not advance. So it is something that is an issue with my save game. Okay, another couple things I've done in between rounds. So the very first, I want to call it episode 0. Where I kind of went through all the mods. I've actually removed 3 of the mods, I think, and added one other because they don't work, or I don't believe they work. So there was, well, one did work, but I still removed it anyway because I thought it was causing problems, and it may still be causing problems, just because. So the transfer between your freighter and your personal inventories, whether that be the ship or your exosuit, I could not make it work. So it could, there's 2 options there. A, the mod is broken, or B, I'm just an idiot. Which either one could be possible. I'm probably the probability says option B is the more accurate one there. So no finger pointing at the mod creator there. I may just legitimately not know how to use it. That's probably the higher probability statistics there. So I removed the commoner rare animals, rare critters mod. I don't want to say it was to the extreme, but there was a boatload of animals everywhere. And because I'm OCD when it comes to animals, well, I'm OCD when it comes to everything, but I don't like just running over animals, and I understand they're digital, so you know, good laugh on everybody that are looking at me and saying, hey, don't stress out, it's a freaking digital animal, it doesn't really exist. So yeah, true, I know, but that's just me. I have an affinity with animals, and digital or not, I really, it hurts when I run over them. That's just, it's a core element of my psyche. Um, so let me see. I added giant space battles, which is a really cool mod. I've played it in the past. I think it's going to be disastrous from the perspective of the ship handling. The way they've changed it absolutely sucks. So I'm convinced that the devs of the game have never flown an aircraft before, so they don't realize that the aircraft tends to respond directly and instantly to the control surfaces. So the fact that everything is really, really sluggish makes control of your aircraft very, very difficult. So rather than you being in control of your, and forgive me if I know I'm talking about aeronautical engineering here, but so if you imagine, if you will, your controls, okay, so your sticks, whatever they happen to be, in an aircraft, so whether it be like the steering wheel and the stick, which is all, part of one, obviously the steering wheel itself, in control of, I believe they're called the ailerons, and the sticks ultimately, being in control of, I'm trying to remember what the ones in the back are, the ones that control your pitch. Okay, I'm having trouble. I'm forgetting there for a second. Oh, I'll remember eventually. That's going to bug me for the next hour. Yep, that's going to bug me. Anyway, so your controls, so your physical controls control absolutely where those are at any given time. And the aircraft, the spacecraft, is going to respond instantly because of that change in control surface. So this really sluggish thing of, in my case, I have the mouse is really your directional control. So if you roll your mouse to the extreme, then it's like a logarithmic curve as your spacecraft responds to the extent of the control. It's not that instant, flip you around sideways kind of a thing if you go to the extreme on your proverbial stick. So it really makes maneuvering, especially tight maneuvering, problematic at best. So, my thoughts, my opinions are that this needs to be more like controlling an aircraft like it used to be. So this is a new change. In fact, I got underway, and I think I was on version 1.35, and flight controls were great, just like they've always been. I got home, I did the updates. I'm on now version 1.37, 1.37, and all of a sudden the flight controls have changed dramatically, and they suck. Sorry, Hello Games, for my very vocal opinions there, but your flight controls suck. You need somebody on staff who is a pilot, who knows how to fly, who can tell you, yeah, these suck. So go back to what they were originally. Please, please, please go back to what they were originally, because that's actually what flying an aircraft feels like. What you've got now is wrong. You will kill people if you implement that in real life. So don't do that. Don't implement this on a real spacecraft, a real flight-capable craft. Don't do that. All right. So anyway, so secondary missions broken. Can't do anything. I may get into the save file and actually hack the snot out of this and see if I can fix something. I don't know that I can. But okay, so that's where we are. Babble, and so I have 6 of 10 species discovered on this particular planet. I did warp. I warped to the next system over, as you can see here on the timeline list. So I discovered all 5 planets in the E08 Sal system, and now I'm in the Daughters to Isi 7 system. So what? You know, laugh all you like. I can't pronounce that, so not even gonna try. Anyway, so I need to find 6 more species here before I can leave this particular planet. Yes, I know that's an OCD thing, but all right. So here's where we are. I happen to be at a little shelter here. This is my my spacecraft. And for those of you who played the original No Man's Sky and found it a little disappointing, I do highly encourage you to come back. The basic, how do I want to say that? The fundamental gameplay has not changed. So the way you do things, the adventuring, the going around seeking, the walking, you know, to the moon and back, has not changed. The discovery of the animals, the discovery of fauna and flora has not changed. The sentinels changed slightly, but just what you get credit for now. Now you have to do the tier 2 and tier 3 sentinels to actually get credit for it in the milestones. But for the most part, the gameplay has not really changed. They've added some aspects like missions and everything, which I think was the Atlas update, the latest update, the 1.3x update. The buildings have changed a little bit. They're much more high res now, which of course is just part of, you know, the game advancing over time. They made some changes. All of the things that used to give you blueprints, which was random. So it would just randomly select a blueprint out of the available list and give it to you, even if you already had it 5 times. So the blueprint dispensers, if you will, now give you a thing called nanite clusters, and then you can take the nanite clusters and at every base, including those on the ground which you can claim, have a blueprint salesperson, and you can buy blueprints with nanite clusters. So nanite clusters have effectively become another form of currency in the game. But I have, as you already know, have been playing with the Exocraft. And I have not played with the Colossus, nor have I played with the Nomad, but I have had a boatload of fun with the Roamer. And you do get to keep your Exocraft. So once you build an Exocraft, you get to keep it. What I discovered is the way to get your Exocraft onto the planet you are currently on. So you kind of temporarily abandon your craft. When you fly away in your ship, your spacecraft, you have no way of loading in your Exocraft into your pocket. You can't do it. So you just park it wherever. Leave it there. Rest assured that you're only abandoning it temporarily. You get to your new planet, you actually build a garage of the same class. So in my case, I have the Roamer, so I have to build a Roamer garage. Okay, if I build either of the other 2 garages, then it will spawn a new Exocraft. The second I get into it, it will say, oh, you've claimed this one and changed this one, and whatever you had in your older one, poof, it's gone. So, to spawn your Exocraft on your new world, whatever world you happen to be, does require that you build a garage. So let me go ahead and go there. So in my case, it's a Nomad Geobay. It will cost you 200 Heridium. Not a problem, because you've got a shit ton of Heridium on every single planet. Voltaic cells, yeah, those are a bit expensive. So you have to find those. Dynamic resonator, those are a bit expensive as well. So as you stock up on those, you'll build them. I'm not sure why this says 0 of 1, so I don't actually have one of those in my inventory. But it's green, so if I clicked, I could actually build it here. So I'm not going to do that because I love the Exocraft. They're a boatload of fun, but The problem is you can do the scanning for like buildings and objects and that sort of thing, but you can't do scanning for life forms. So if you're on the mission to find life forms, walking, yes, is a lot slower, but it saves you getting in and out of your exocraft. So if you're still looking for life forms, then probably being on foot is the best methodology there. So at least my experience. So anyway, like I was saying, you build your GeoBay for the version of exocraft that you are using on your new planet. You can see here to the left side of the GeoBay, it has a little display, and you summon. It's free. It doesn't cost you a bypass chip or anything like that. It's totally free. You push the button, poof, and your exocraft falls out of the sky and lands on your GeoBay. So good stuff. I think they implemented this very, very well. So yes, it costs you a little bit, the 200 iridium, the 2 voltaic cells, the dynamic resonator. I would suggest keeping a few of those in stock. You know, build them whenever you build them. Do a Kenti Tiger OCD thing and build 3 or 4 of them. So anyway, all right, right click. In my case, I've landed. I did not go into this because this is just a shelter here, so there's not really any point to doing anything. I did save. I'm in the middle of a storm here, so let me go ahead and save again, just because these things, even though they cost you resources, okay, so to turn this off is 50 iron. Iron is pretty common. Iridium, pretty common. You can get it quantities at a time. I've got a boatload in my inventory because I've gone to the absolute extremes with things. That's not an OCD thing at all. And carbon. Carbon is pretty common. Any life form, whether it be a plant or an animal, is going to give you carbon. So I'm not encouraging you to go out and kill all these things, but you know, that's one of the sources of carbon. A little bit of resources here, and then you are rewarded with, in this case, 30 nanite clusters, which is actually quite a bit. Now, you could probably ask a question, and it would be a perfectly valid question: why does somebody with a bazillion nanite clusters need more? I think I'm just going to leave it at that. Okay, so I picked a random direction, and I like the fact that the compass only has 2 directional markers, north and south, so it does not have the east and west marker, and I don't know if I remember it having those. I thought it did, but now it's only a north and south, so I just pick one at random, and I live in the south, so I like to go north. No pun intended there. No condescensions intended towards Tier 1 people of the south. If you have never been to the Carolinas, then I pity you, because you will never find on this planet a more generous, warm, and inviting people than Carolinians. You will not. They will invite you into their homes. There is no such thing as locked doors in the Carolinas. They will bring you into their home. They will sit you down at your table, at their table. They will feed you until you are ready to burst and need a wheelbarrow to move. They will treat you like family. Wonderful people. So I'm a little off track here, but this is kind of the boredom release as you're roaming around and finding things. I don't recall if I have found any aerial type folks, so right, I've already done that one. One of the things we've discovered, this is, I think it's aluminum over here. Oh, emerald. So this particular planet, let me go back in here, discoveries, so we can see actually what it has. So nickel and emerald, your rare flora element, your rare growth, plant-based element in this case is fungal mold, and iridium. Of course, like I said, iridium is your silicate that's on every single planet. There will be at least 2 neutrals, and probably other things, and then all the various darn it, I'm losing it. Radioactive elements, isotopes. There we go, isotopes. I'm trained in the world of science. Yes, I am. Finding all these deposits. In this case, you actually see. I'm close enough to this one that it will tell you. Now, remember that emerald is a very valuable element. So let me actually get a little bit of this in my inventory, and we'll show you what we mean by that. So emerald here. And you notice this is 275 units each, so I have 39 of those in my inventory. Well, on that stack, I've got actually a whole stack over here. So this stack of 39 is got an average. Now this is an average price, so you're not hooked into the trade system at this point, so that is going to go up and down according to, well, supply and demand, right? Supply and demand model, it does exist in the game. So your average galactic price is 275. So this particular stack of 39 of these things would net you, if you sold it outright, a little over 10,000, almost 11,000 units. So this one here, a full stack, is almost 69,000 units. Just 250. Now, if you completely mine this out, you're going to probably be between 15 and 1,800 units. So if you run the numbers there, it's well worth the energy if you're working on building up money. So your units, then emerald and gold actually are a really good way to do that. I'm coming in, follow the arrows. The little red arrows on the screen are going to point to. So I think I have discovered all the flora there is to be discovered. I'm going to avoid the damaged machinery down there just because I really don't need any more nanites. I truly have a boatload of them. Different variant of this, but so this is it's kind of interesting that this is an insect eater, but yet it is a predator and meat. So here's the depot. So depot, as I've described in the other episodes, are a great place to increment great place to increment your sentinel counter. So definitely take advantage of that if you have the opportunity. Alright. I don't remember if that's a predator or not. No, it was not. Okay, but I had a second predator thing come up while I was flying over here, so I'm not sure what that was. I think I got all 5 of them at once. So platinum here, which grows, and again, you're going to find these on most every planet. So you find platinum, zinc, and platinum, zinc, and thamium-9 grow in the plants like these. So even though they have different names, you can scan them and then add that to your flora inventory. Okay, already have that. There's another insect eater that's attacking me. So apparently I am an insect. So this is the thamium-9 over here, so it looks very similar to platinum. So armadium, I think, is what this is called. Armadium. I wonder if I don't remember getting a warning saying my inventory was full, but it may actually be. Alright, so turning north again and heading out. I did my save. So Mordite is now the element you get when you kill the predators, and again, I don't really care for killing the predators. They're just everywhere. So Mordite there. They're a little hard to see, especially at night. Let's get back on track. Fly over the ditch. So as you wander through the world, so for instance these things here, they identify what they will be. So iron in this case, which is one of it's the least valuable of the oxide elements that you'll find. So as you can see, platinum, this is the most common form of platinum that you're going to see, this red crystalline type structure. There's It's everywhere. Okay, I already did that one. So as you're roaming around in the world, so you'll see 3 different crystalline structures. There's the red one, which I want to say 99% of the time is platinum. And again, not in this version, but in the previous episodes, previous versions of this game, I did once see this same red as iridium. So it was an iridium crystalline structure. So I thought it was plutonium when I walked up on it, and I don't know, that probably has changed now because I have not seen it since I started playing again. Yellow and blue. So red, yellow, blue. Red is plutonium, which of course you need to power up most of your equipment. Needs plutonium or an isotope of some kind. The yellows are, again, 99% of the time is titanium, which is your most valuable oxide, and then chrysanite, which is your most valuable silicate. So blue is the chrysanite, blue crystalline structures are the chrysanite. So red, plutonium, yellow, titanium, and blue, chrysanite. Alright, continuing on approximately north, you see that it's like a part oval, part hoop there that you see buried in the ground there that's obviously metallic. Oh! So we're flying, you can see the emerald that is almost dead ahead of me here, and below me. So again, if you're needing a lot of these things, then take advantage when you land on a planet that has emerald. Go nuts. Just, totally mine everything out as much as you can, and it will pay off in dividends. So a lot of platinum here. I don't need any more platinum. Over here you see some, plutonium, excuse me, and platinum. So I don't need any more plutonium. I know I'm kind of OCD and collecting all that stuff, but I don't know if I have, that's that guy. Those are absolutely annoying. But so this hoop metallic thing is the nickel. So you will see all the different interesting elements that take on a variety of shapes. Nickel. There we go. Don't need any more nickel either. Already got that. More emerald there. The interesting thing about this game is you will find all these different neutral elements in various forms. So sometimes they're above ground in big gigantic balls, like you've seen the Heridium in the past. Sometimes the big columns, like you'll see the Heridium. So it's in a variety of different forms. And then I've seen the aluminum, nickel, iridium, and now emerald in these big cave-like, hollowed-out cave-like deposits. Yes, I did. So I guess as long as we're out in the middle of nowhere here, we go to an orbit. See, there's one above, two above the ground over there. Not seeing anything. Alright, so continue on approximately north. Shut off the scanner. So there's an emerald deposit down there. I don't need those. And two. This. There's a predator of some kind down there. So seen in the past. Yes, so it's a green. Don't need to worry about him. So there is a fungal mold right there, if you see my reticle right there in the center of the screen. So I did bypass that, but I already have fungal mold, so no biggie. Deposit of emerald over here. So the trick to adventuring, for the most part in this game, is really just to keep your eyes open. I think I already have this. So there's both those the gear things that you saw, or these damage equipment over here, which ultimately will give you nanites. So if you do not have nanites, then definitely look for those. Great source of nanite. In fact, these are a little more plentiful when it comes to. Okay, so this is the law of predators. There's always a bigger predator, right? So you killed that guy, and I killed you. So the neat thing about this planet, there really is a boatload of emeralds. So you could potentially get yourself pretty wealthy here. So we've actually got 3 deposits in a row. Look at that. There's one there, one there, one there. And if you could, average 800 to 1,200 units, I'm guessing these are not really huge deposits, but I'm guessing, 800 to 1,200 units per. Then there's your, 2,400 to 3,600 units of emerald at 275. Do the math. You're gonna get some cash. So good stuff there. Another dip there. Right. Wow, there's 2 more deposits right up here. So I just flew over that canyon, so there's 1 more deposit of emerald right there, 1 more deposit. So there's really a boatload of emerald deposits on this planet. Gold mine. Another one almost dead ahead there, almost under, right here. So pretty remarkable. Okay, here's a beacon, and we see a egg-shaped tower of iridium there. So beacons reveal 9 times out of 10, a beacon is going to give you an advanced life form. Now that's not always true. Sometimes a beacon will give you a crashed ship or a crashed freighter. I've seen those. So unfortunately, it does not give you a save point. So it did the big, huge scan, and then it's going to reveal something for you. Let's see what it is. A shelter, so advanced life form. Which is 53 minutes if I were walking. Alright, nice thing. So get back onto my northern track here. And, let's do a scan. So there's, right in front of me there is a fungal mold. So we'll pick that up because it's right in front of me. Iridium there, more plutonium. So I have stuff in virtually every direction. As far as life forms go, that's what those little binky white things are. But most of them have been. Again, I suspect that there will be some airborne folks somewhere. So off to my left over here. Not sure why those didn't show up on my scan. So there's probably emerald down the ground there. So a whole bunch of zinc, plutonium, more zinc, plutonium, and you can see the platinum over here. So this planet is actually really rich. So 2 of the fungal molds there. rare natural elements. Or shall I say organic elements? That's probably a more correct term, organic elements. So there's like 6 or 7 organic elements now. The fungal mold. There was a crystal of some kind that you can find. There's the solarium that you can find. There's the gamma root. And all of these are these really kind of neat organic elements that are rare. They only are you're only going to see them on particular planets, and they're planets that actually make perfect sense. So like the solarium, you're only going to find it on these totally scorching hot planets. Gamma root, the name doesn't give it away. You're going to find on radioactive planets. So it all makes perfect sense. And there really is just a boatload of emerald on this planet. I mean, you can't walk, 50 feet without. And forgive my European neighbors here for talking in feet. I try and do my best to translate into metric because I use metric in the world of science and everything. I still find SAE measurements to be a little bit ridiculous, but the United States never changed. I don't know why they never changed, but they never changed. We actually tried in the, I think it was the 80s, to go over to I just date myself, in the 80s to shift over to metric, because after all, the rest of the world is metric. We're like the only folks still in existence on the planet that use the SAE, the old imperial system, as measurements. So here's a fungal cluster over here, and we talked earlier about the crystalline structures. So guess what this one is? Hey, look, it's chrysanite. You need your advanced mining laser for chrysanite and titanium in whatever form they happen to be in. So just so you know, you want to get that particular mod very, very quickly. Blueprint, excuse me. Not mod. Blueprint, very, very quickly. So you want to find these. These are around in the world anytime. So you want to do these. Knowledge stones are good. They will give you a word. And a word is good when you're rolling around and collecting, because eventually you will be able to translate everything you read in the different interactions with the aliens that you will encounter. So being able to translate what they say does in fact have a relevant bearing on the responses that you can give, your choices of response. So definitely you want to learn all the words you can. No, they don't, the Atlas does not put credits under your pillow for the number of words that you have learned, but it will help you in translating everything. So pretty neat stuff. So again, why am I picking up plutonium when I don't have any need for it? Because OCD. Nope, I'm totally off track here. Okay, let's do so we have platinum, which I saw, we have zinc, I see a tower over this, okay, it did show up. So I'm going to go off track a little bit just because I see a tower over here. But we'll pause before we do, and we'll do an orbit. So shelter way out there. See if I find any red anywhere. The answer is no. those of you who are looking at this and saying, wait a minute, my jetpack doesn't last nearly that long. Yes, that is a true statement. Your jetpack does not, unless you are cheating. I am cheating. More Chrysonite. Why do I need to collect Chrysonite? Because. This world, which I guess makes sense. No irony there. That is a very valuable world because there is emerald everywhere. If you know where to look, it's been down in these little crevasses here, and there is an absolute abundance, parallel with, I guess, of predators. So they're not limited to the caves. They will find you. Insect, thank you. Stick to your insects, and you shall live through the day. And you shall perish. Alright, so a shelter is almost always going to have nanites in it. So if you want nanites, then shelters are a pretty good opportunity. As you can see in here. I'm more interested in the save point. So, continuing on. So we see a iridium column over here. All the different elements. So let me do an orbital scan. So we have a lot of life forms in every direction. Is there a purpose to the cheating? Great question. Yes. Because I just like to play. I am... So, the game devs, and this is really true with any game, the word realistic is relative. So, if we step away for just a moment from a game environment, which is inherently a fantasy environment, obviously it doesn't really exist, at least not for us. Perhaps in some other part of the universe where the Viking actually do roam, then this is reality. But right now this is not reality. I would like to think if we have the technology to go to the stars, we have faster than light travel, then it seems realistic that we would have a jetpack that lasts longer than 30 freaking seconds. Do you detect some hostility there? Yes, you do. So realism. If I can warp to another solar system in seconds, then shouldn't we have developed technology that can lift me off the ground for longer than 30 seconds before it dumps me on my butt? Yes, I think we should. We do. So, I have the trainer running in the background, E08 little program, that does some other things. Obviously, it puts kind of your infinite shield and stuff like that. but it also gives you a jetpack, which I really like. And it's actually selectable. I mean, you can turn on or off what you want, so you can just do the things that you want. So normally I tend to walk, and in fact sometimes I walk slow, as I've been demonstrating for the last few minutes. And then other times, I like to do the fast walk, jumping over the crevasses with the jetpack, which I think was the intention, the short bursts. Still consistently batting 1,000 here with this whole discovery. I'm stuck at 6 of 10 with my life form discovery, my mission to find life on this planet. Things that just mostly experience teaches of which things are actually real and which ones are not. So, for example, this is a real object that you can interact with. This is not. This is not. So they do have actually a different texture to them, so you can identify them a little easier. Unfortunately, this one kind of has the same type of a texture style as this one, but this one you can't interact with either. So as you get a little more experience with the game, you learn which things you can scan and which ones you can't. That's really where I was going with that. So knowing which floor I'm finding you can. Inventory. So the neat thing is, let me do a scan here, and so you see the kind of purple highlight stone there. There is a knowledge stone there. So they do show up on your scan. So there's a little mold here. I will end up with a lot. Nanite cluster. We'll go ahead and put that over here. So I actually have all of these, so we can actually get rid of all of those. Yes, normally you would want to sell these, but because I have a boatload already, then there's no real reason for me to keep these. So there's all three of the oxides. Sorry, I'm just totally having trouble speaking today. So let me go ahead and delete that one too, because I don't want it to. So I just kind of collect those as I go. There's no real reason to collect any of these, but I already have. Oh. So there's the arrows that I was talking about. So the drones. So the arrow, I can see the bar here that is, for whatever reason, not moving. So when that one reaches the top, I'm going to escalate into the second tier. And I guess it's just a long ways away. It's underground. Second tier. So I really have to find this guy. I'm really curious as to where it happens to be. Back to the north. We talked about these things already, so so again, you just walk up to these, and once you can actually interact, in my case it's an E, and unfortunately you learn nothing new. Bunch of emerald over here. Side. Over here. So this game is one of those you really can play it without the audio. There's lots of neat little sound bites and things that tell you. So more emerald here. That kind of give you an idea of what's going on. So the sounds can be very helpful. They can cue you into different things that are happening. But as long as you watch your screen, and of course there's a whole lot going on, obviously, but for the most part, just keeping a good watch on everything that's on your screen can be immensely valuable. So in this case, I know this is a predator over here, so I haven't gotten the predator warning yet. But as it approaches me, approach it, depending on where it is, then usually that predator thing, they're kind of busy, will very typically come up on the screen, and I can orbit because there's always an arrow for it. Slightly off our northern track here, just so we can walk up the side of this thing over here. myself into this little crater over here. Get off the track. There's the little predator thing. Little predator warning that comes up on the screen. Alright, my pause and orbit for life. I have the feeling this planet's going to be one of those that I abandon research just because I've traveled quite a bit here and not had anything. So that is a little bit disappointing. Another shelter looks like down here. Strangely enough, I've played some games where I was very, very frustrated with things, and I would save and then come back later, and lo and behold, another one or two creatures that I had not scanned appear where I did the save, which is to say, I saved my game, closed the game. When I come back into the game, then the place where I saved is the place where these rare creatures had spawned in, so I could get another couple. So it's really kind of strange how the game mechanics work, where everything is, you can wander around for hours and not find a damn thing, and then magically you do a save game and there it is. For some reason, insect eaters are very intent on killing me. So I am apparently an insect. I'm not sure if I should find that insulting or not. The game is accusing me of being nickel over there. Okay, so there's another something over there, but that takes me a long ways off my path, 90 degrees off my path. More nickel over here, it looks like. Some plutonium. Plutonium right over here. Alright, well, sticking to great big thing under me. I've got a machine, damaged equipment off to my left. More Murrow in front, quite a bit of Murrow in front. Containers here to my right. trying to avoid was killing the creatures that I didn't want to kill. Finishing off. See that? Probably everybody in the watching the video was like, "Yeah, you're an idiot. I saw that. I saw that, and I'm not even playing your damn game." Visited here previously and set this up, but nothing here. So these are kind of new to the game. I don't remember seeing these. There's nothing here but a save point. In the games previously, there was always something. So it was always like a galactic trade thing or something was there. But Alright, so speaking of saves, let me go back in discoveries. I've had a whole lot of waypoints here. So, interestingly enough, they've added an upload all feature. I'm going to try that. Bing! And it works! That's kind of cool. So, makes it easy when you forget to do things, which I have. Column of iridium there. Scan. Stay as close to my northern track as I can here. Let's see. Much too rare of an element. Not that I need it, not that I'll do anything with it except sell it. So the oxides, if you noticed, you need the oxides for your protective. I've noticed that they just take like 30 or 40 of whatever you plug into them. So it's not like it used to be. So zinc, so iron, zinc, and titanium were your three oxides. So it used to be that if you used iron, it was going to take a whole boatload of it. If you used zinc, it would take about half of the boatload. And if you use titanium, it would take very little because of the relative, maybe I should say potency of those three different ones. Now, it doesn't seem to matter. It takes like 30 of them and that was it. But that could be because I've got the cheater on. And the cheater may be offsetting how the game functions, the base game functions. Well, I mean, it does change how the base game functions, duh. But it could be affecting... well, a little bit short there. It could be affecting the numerical portion of that. Another knowledge stone scan, so that does show up on the knowledge stone. As you can see, the equipment, the damaged equipment, also does show up. I have noticed on scans, and I don't know, for example, so here is a Thamium 9, right here. It's very close to me, but did not show up on the scan. So why is that? So that was the priceless example of things that they're there. So you do still have to keep your eyes open. The scan will show you, 98% of everything that's out here, but you'll miss things. I don't know why that is, but it will miss things. So I have the most advanced scanners that credits can buy. Sorry, units can buy. The most advanced scanners that units can buy. I have spent all of my nanites on blueprints. And yet, I still so follow the arrow. The arrow will take you to so I have every scan capability that is available by blueprint in the game, and I still don't have 100% scan. I don't know why that is. Could be one of those little bug things in the game that's not what the devs intended. That's the way it works. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's not really frustrating, but every once in a while when you're looking for that particular thing and you can't find it to save your life, and it actually is sitting right in front of you, then that's it. And the little smoke things, that's damaged equipment there. So there are telltale signs that, again, if you keep your eyes open and you look reasonably close, then you really can see different things. Obviously, you can't see the smoke at night, but if you see the blue flashing, the arcing of the equipment there, that is extremely visible at night. So when you're roaming around and it's dark and you see one of these, blue arc flashing things, oh, wow, hey, maybe that's something of note. So, again, just keep your eyes open, and 9 times out of 10, your eyes will lead you to what you are seeking. Perhaps. Might not be seeking, but, Gotta take the big one. Oh! Ah! Dash there. The big canisters there, you'd need an Atlas Pass 1 to get into. I do have an Atlas Pass, but I have all 3 of the Atlas Passes. Before I can protect him. I'm such a hideous guardian. Cannot protect difficult creatures. Okay, I see a flat up here. Emerald below. Emerald to the left. Got 2 deposits of emerald to the left. 3 deposits of emerald to the left. 4, sorry, I'm totally dropping the ball. Iridium to the left, plutonium to the right. So you really can cover a lot of ground walking. Obviously it's slower than any of the other transportation means, but you can really cover a lot, and it ends up being kind of a convenience thing. Like I was saying, I've really just had a boatload of fun with the Exocraft. So, most of the time this is just about language, but your knowledge of the Vikings increases, and I don't think this serves although your standing with the Viking has increased. So just by coming here, interacting with this, you'll gain 1 point in your standing with whatever particular race you happen to be in the territory of. So it is to your advantage always to stop by the monoliths, the plaques, and everything. Even though no, you don't have a save game capability here. It is worth that extra point in the standing thing, because that standing does come into play, how they interact with you, and most importantly, your interaction with a blueprint salesperson is. Let me try that again, phrasing it a little different way. The availability of blueprints from that blueprint salesperson is directly related to your standing with that particular race. So they will offer you better blueprints, the more advanced blueprints, the higher of standing that you have with them. So it is to your advantage to be as high a standing as possible with any of the given races. So again, predators in abundance. Let me do the orbital scan here, see if I see anything new. Wow. Oh, there they are. I was going to say a shocking lack of life over here. My starship now 32 minutes away from me. And we got nothing. Nothing on the scan. Predator thing wasn't moving. Alright. Continue on our track. Yeah, this planet is rapidly, I think, going to become a oh, Christ no. And no, I don't need it. But I'm taking it anyway. Knowledge stone, off the right. I don't know if I've seen this big blue thing before. Sorry, I didn't mean to scan your butt. I can't tell. Oh, it did trigger you. Trigger scan. Fungal mold over here, might as well get it. The neat thing about all of the organic items is they give you pretty much 50 each. See, they are reasonably valuable. All of them. It's not until you get really into the commodities and the trading of commodities. 9 times out of 10, when you get the blueprints and recipes and stuff for how to create some of these commodities, they cost you in resources, yes, but those resources will cost you like hundreds of credits, hundreds of units, unless you're on the world, and can find it. That's why I really like large inventories, because I just collect a boatload of stuff and squirrel it all away, and then I have the materials that I need to build things, and those things that you build then become extremely lucrative. So, for example, a dynamic resonator that might cost you a couple thousand in resources. Look at that. There they are. So, I'm now, I think, 7 of 10. So let's have a look. Discoveries. Yes, indeed. 7 of 10. Okay, so progress slow, but progress. So, there was a classic example of what I mean, keep your eyes open. So, I did not see the animal itself. I saw the shadow on the ground and was like, whoop, that's a bird. Bird, bird. So, always keep your eyes open, because you might find something useful. So, the point of what I was saying is that sometimes it costs you a little bit of energy, possibly a lot of energy, to find materials that you need to build these different things. Alloys is another classic example. You find these raw elements. So, for example, obviously we've seen just a boatload of emerald around. Here's a base off to the side. I'll wander over there in a minute. We have iridium, we have nickel, and it's nickel in this game, so we have a boatload of nickel. So we have a nickel, and a nickel. So if you consider what you need to build, so let's just say, and these are numbers I'm rattling off the top of my head, I haven't verified any of this recently, so it might cost you several thousand in materials. But I build something like a dynamic resonator that, let's look, just for the fun of it. So let's say I want to build a dynamic resonator. So this is going to be crafting a technology. Dynamic resonator is going to be in here. So I thought it was going to be in here. Maybe it's in... Oh, game crash. Darn it, I haven't saved for a little while. At least I think that was a game crash. Oh, maybe not. Okay, it didn't. Dynamic resonator. Okay, so a dynamic resonator which takes antimatter. So obviously antimatter is going to be a little bit expensive to buy. Microdensity fabric, not a big deal. I can create those. And chrysonite. So chrysonite obviously is a little bit hard to come by. I need 2 antimatter, I need 100 chrysonite, and 4 microdensity fabrics. So if we consider what that would cost me in the world, but I sell 1 dynamic resonator for 27,000 units. 27,500 units. So something that costs me even 5,000, because the chrysonite, if I buy it, is expensive. If I find it in the world, so for example, if you see on the bottom center of my screen is my inventory. You see 250 chrysonite down there, and another 41 chrysonite there that's just off the left of the carrot sheet. I have enough to build nearly 3 dynamic resonators in my inventory just from roaming around in the game. So it cost me nothing, literally nothing, but I get $27,000 for those. So 27,000, let's just round it to 25 so I can, do the math easy. So I sell my 3 dynamic resonators that I have the chrysonite in my inventory for, and I get 75,000 units just for roaming around in the world. Antimatter I can make. So I will get suspension fluid or electron vapor out of those canisters that I've been passing over and haven't even mentioned. you get those from those canisters. So I do a little bit of refining. So, for example, what does it take? Iridium, zinc, and electron vapor. Okay, so I get the electron vapor for free. So it cost me 50 iridium, which of course is everywhere. Zinc, which of course is everywhere. So it cost me absolutely nothing for this creation of antimatter. So effectively, I get 27,500 units for something that costs me nothing other than time in a world that has all these things. So it's a great way to make money. A lot of bang for the buck there. A little bit of energy, yes, to roam around the world and collect all these different things, which is why I stockpile everything. But, boom, there's a way to make money. So it takes a little bit of energy, obviously. You have to sit down and build them all and all that sort of thing, but it's there. Microdensity fabric, just out of curiosity. So iron and platinum. So obviously I have a whole bunch of platinum. We see platinum 250, so I could make 25 if I had the iron. Obviously the iron is going to be a little more expensive, but you see I have 220 iron, so I can build 4 of these microdensity fabrics right off the bat with just stuff I have in my inventory right here. And I have a bunch more in my my high capacity inventory. So again, as you're roaming around the world and you collect stuff, and you can actually, by making things, and here's another thing. So alloys. So Aronium, you're going to have to create. It's an alloy. Magno Gold, you're going to have to create. It's an alloy. Grantine, you have to create it. It's an alloy. But one of these iridescite, whatever that is, 150,000 units for this one thing. So my guess is it's going to cost you about 30,000. But 30,000, and then you sell it for 150,000. Is that a profit or what? So the game has built in a mechanism for you to actually make an awful lot of money. So rather than whining, bitching, complaining about, wow, that freighter that I want to buy is so damn expensive. Yes, it is. But there is a mechanism in the game, built into the game, that will actually let you get to that goal. It may not be as fast as you want, but there is trade mechanisms in the game. So make stuff. Okay, I have gone like a half hour over the intended timeline, so forgive me for that. So we're going to break here. So this is Kenty Tiger signing off, and we will continue next time.